some point in
What
their
work stories? Sooubway. Alright. 65 million views. My good god.
I think that everyone at some point in their life should work in a fast food or retail job. Not to
Nah,
improve their
well,
work ethic or
surely.
anything, but so that everyone knows what it's like to have that kind of job. They wouldn't work
It's
in
not
fast
fun.
food their whole lives, maybe just like for 6 months, just so they get a feel for it. So
6
with that,
months.
let's talk about the time when I worked in fast food. I used to work at a very small local sandwich shop. I don't know if any of you guys heard of it. It's called Sooubway. Our
Really did.
spokesperson was in the news recently.
The
I don't know if you
Peter.
guys look at the news. Did you hear he got beat up in jail? I kind of want to meet the person who beat up Jared more than Jared. Not in person.
I don't want to
We
meet
wouldn't
Jared
meet in
for he's a
person,
Peter.
obviously. But like, he would be behind bars, and I would just look at the guy who beat up my spokesperson. How many people get to say that they beat up a fast food icon who is also a pedophile? Only one, and it's that guy. Okay.
Subway, I used to eat every day at university because it was the only thing that was close. But yeah, I wouldn't want to work there because like I don't want to memorize how to make sandwiches.
Seriously, guys, working at Subway was probably one of the most easiest jobs out there. I don't know why I'm about to complain about it to you guys. We got free cookies. And you know the comic with the Subways in Hell? I was actually working at Subway when I made that comic. I just think it adds sort of a little bit of value to it. You see, the owners, who were husband and wife, can you believe it, of the Subway I worked at owned 2 stores. One of the Subway stores was in a Walmart on an Indian reservation, because we have those in Arizona, and the other Subway was the Subway I worked at. And since the Walmart store was always busy, the owners would spend 99% of their time at that store. So I didn't really have a boss most of the time. On the off chance the owners did show up, they would just pick up some food and then they would make sure I was making sandwiches the right way. And every time I made a sandwich in front of
Olives
them,
and green
they would
shit.
always find something wrong with it, without fail. You put on too many olives. Do you know, according to the Subway formula, you're only supposed to put on 8 olives on a foot long? 8!
6. Yo, that's some fucking arse, dude. You better give me more than 6 olives if I'm paying for that. It's not cheap. 6 tomatoes. So you can put 6 tomato slices on it. 6 cucumber. 6 was that pickle or gherkin or whatever it's called. This is nasty. Never get this shit on a sandwich, dude. It just overpowers. What's it called? Sweet pepper. Olives, I always get olives. Onions, no. Not raw onions. Jalapenos, no. This again, no. Is that cheese?
8! One for every other bite. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, there's
You
no
know,
olive
imagine
flavor,
someone
dude.
just counting out 8 olives. No,
They never count it out. They grab a
usually
handful,
worked the
dude.
closing shift, and at the end of the night, we would turn the alarm and we have 60 seconds to get out of the store. But one time I had the opening shift, so I unlocked the door to get in with my key, and the alarm went beep, beep, meaning I had 60 seconds to turn it off. No big deal, right? I've turned the alarm on all the time when I was closing. So I go to the little control panel, and I type in the code, and nothing happens. The beeping is still there, and the clock is still ticking down. So I go, okay, I'm going to press each button very carefully. I'm going to make sure each button makes a beep when I press it. Beep, beep, beep. Nothing still happens. So I go, okay, I'm going to make sure to press each button very carefully. And I start thinking, did they change the passcode without telling me? Well, this is the only passcode I know, so we're just going to try it again. And I press each button very carefully. Beep. 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 It goes quiet. And then the alarm goes off. I still had like 20 seconds left. But I guess when you get it wrong 3 times, it automatically assumes.
Why is the passcode
So while
different?
the alarm is going off, I look on the contact sheet for the owner's cell phone number. I step outside, I call him, and he doesn't pick up. So I go back inside, find the number for the other Subway store. They open an hour before we do. Someone picks up with their stupid voice. Oh, thank you for calling Subway. I'm blah, 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 blah. How may I help you? And I go, hey, is Mike there? That's not his real name, guys. Don't worry. And they go, just a minute. Yeah, sure. I have all the time in the world. The cops might be on their way, but take your time. So Mike picks up. Yellow. Hey, Mike, this is James. What's the passcode for the alarm? Who is this? It's James. What's the passcode? What are you doing there, James? Why aren't you answering the question? I have the opening shift. Is the alarm going off? Yeah, no one told me the new code. Yeah, we changed it. It's the last 2 digits of your social security number. Oh, okay. Thanks, Mike. I don't know my social security number. So I finally get the alarm off. No one showed up, thankfully. Which I actually don't know if that's a good thing or not, now that I say it out loud. We did have a store manager who would like make the schedule and sometimes tell us, hey, can you guys do a better job at your job? But other than that, she was cool. She watches my videos.
You know, at Comic Con, they have a Subway, and because it's so filled up, like, because there's so many people, and everyone buys the meal deal of drink, sandwich, crisp slash cookie, you could literally take as much fucking crisps and cookies as you want, as long as you don't overdo it, bro. Because they don't monitor it because it's so busy. They have it there and they're like, here's your drink, here's your sandwich, dude. Now go grab what you want. And then literally, someone I went with took like 10 cookies, dude. That was funny.
And so do her little brothers. They're big fans. Shout out to Ivan and Andy. Those are the brothers. So get this. At Subway, you only work with one other person. Just you and them in an empty Subway for 5 hours.
Yoink. That's what I'm saying,
empty
dude.
all the time. Okay. And when you're not
I
making
think we have Subway, but I don't eat it.
Stocking the
I didn't eat Subway for a while. Subway's quite expensive in comparison. Actually, most of them are. Burger King is really expensive, and then like KFC. No, Subway slash KFC are kind of the same, and then you have like McDonald's is slightly cheaper. Because a burger is £1, so you could buy 5 burgers for £5 instead of like.
But okay, we did watch a lot of Netflix and do homework, so I mean, that other person you worked with would make or break your entire shift. It wasn't the annoying customers. I kind of got used to it.
The Karens.
So I worked with a lot of crappy people, and I also worked with a lot of people who I would probably never become friends with, except in a work setting. You see, you gotta understand the type of people who got jobs at Subway. Potheads. Most of them are potheads. And some of them are really cool. I'm just going to go over a couple of the characters that I worked with. There was Tyler. I freaking love this guy. He smoked a lot of weed. He actually told me what vaping was, and he got me into Clash of Clans. I actually mentioned him and his girlfriend in my Riddles video. I don't know.
People play Clash of Clans still.
I mentioned Corey. He was cool. We watched How to Get Away with Murder on Netflix, and I've also hung out with him outside of work. What him and Tyler...
Oh yeah, I got my Netflix right, dude. Who's got a suggestion for me, dude? Who's got one? Write it down below. Well, Chaos, not you, dude. You only watch anime, alright? So, like...
Common is that they would actually do their job, which you gotta appreciate. Then there was this guy, and get this, who was also named Jared, and he was fat. I know, right? He's like Jared.
Well, I said, how to get away with murder.
And that's like the only thing he would talk about. I can say these things. He doesn't watch my videos. There was Sarah. She was cool.
I need to watch that Michael Jordan
and
documentary.
Jay. He talked about chakras and third eyes. He was interesting. And also, there's Anthony. He's cool. What's up, Anthony? For the 100,000 sprinkles video, I actually went back to Subway to use their scale because I knew they had one. And we counted 500 sprinkles again just to be more accurate for the 100,000. And Anthony helped me count instead of working. I mean, at least he got paid minimum wage for it. So 2 more stories before I go. One time, Jared asked me to take out this pile of trash, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll just put this pile of trash in the dumpster. And as I was taking it out, I saw that there was a chip poster in the pile, and I...
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Rick and Morty, which I've seen all the episodes up until the latest season, which I watched like episode 1 and 2 of. The Witcher I've seen the entirety of. I watched that at Christmas. Oh yeah, I need to watch a new season of Peaky, or the newest season of Peaky Blinders. I ain't seen that either. I also found out about Subway, that one guy that does that for Subway. Yeah, Jared from Subway is a pedo. I said it like 10 minutes ago, and so did this guy.
This is too cool to throw away. I'm gonna keep it. So I took it home with me, and then the next day when I went in, people were saying, oh, where's the chip poster? We can't find the chip poster. We haven't seen it anywhere. And I'm thinking, I have the poster.
I was in the
bin. I didn't tell anyone that I had the poster. And it's still hanging up in my room. Sorry, boss, if you're finding out about this now. Okay, and then the other story, I was working with a manager, and we were just making sandwiches like usual. And I noticed that when we toasted a sandwich, it would burn the paper a little on the edges. That probably shouldn't be happening.
Yep.
So then a customer asks for just bacon toasted. And the boss lady puts some bacon on paper, and then puts it in the toaster. And we don't have a setting for just bacon.
6-inch, 12-inch bacon.
Toaster, there was a fire on the bacon. So then she starts to whack it with the little metal tray thing.
Alright,
but
dude.
all she ended up doing was fanning the flames, making the fire bigger.
Alright, dude.
You got this, right? Then I went in the back and I got the fire extinguisher and I actually used it. I single-handedly saved that Subway. Wait, what have I done? Is it okay if the bacon's a little crispy? And has nitrogen and carbon dioxide stuff on it? Wow, I didn't even mention a single bad customer experience. Well, I don't want the video. Hey, this is kind of like a part 2 video. I mean, you don't have to have seen the part 1 video to understand what I talk about in this video. But I mean, if you haven't watched part 1, you should. So I used to work at Subway, and to be honest,
Sooubway.
80% of the customers were fine. Sometimes they would do something
Only
that would just
80%.
personally annoy me, like ask for a meatball on flatbread.
Ugh.
It's too bad for me.
Bruh, don't get meatballs at Subway, dude. Don't do that.
Would ask me, can I have a Turkey with lettuce, tomatoes.
Better?
Whoa, slow down. What kind of bread? Footlong or 6-inch? What kind of cheese? Is it toasted? Then we'll talk about vegetables. And every time someone brought in a list, there would always be something missing on it. Always. I never had someone come in with a complete list. I would ask someone, what kind of cheese? And they would say, they didn't specify. Well then, if they didn't care enough to remember cheese, I guess they'll get Swiss. If anyone watching is currently working at a Subway, then feel free to use these tricks. If someone asked me,
what kind of cheese do you recommend?
I would always say provolone, because it's the easiest cheese to pull apart with gloves on. Really, if anyone asked me what I recommended, I would just tell them the easiest thing for me to do.
Yep.
But even after
That's
I
how
gave
you
my
do it.
insightful provolone cheese
We only have 2 cheeses here at our Subway. Like, cheddar and, like, pepper jack cheddar. At least the one I went to.
recommendation, sometimes people would still say,
I'll take American.
why do you even ask me what cheese I would recommend if you're not going to take it seriously? Another thing
Or
that
is
would
it
annoy
American
me is when
cheese?
people
I
would
don't
say the
fucking know what
sandwich
it
was
is, dude.
all done, but they didn't put any sauce on it. So I would ask, any sauce? And then they would be like,
Any
oh
sauce?
yeah, mayonnaise. Oh, why did you tell me it was all done if it wasn't? Also, the receipt machine
Oh,
at the store
mayonnaise.
took like 7 seconds to print
Oh,
out the
shit,
receipt.
what have I
So it
done?
would be very awkward every time I would ask people, do you want
What
your
have I done
receipt?
here?
And then they would say yes, and then we would just stare.
No, that's not the
Addy.
right thing to press. Oh! Boys, what has happened?
At each other until the receipt printed.
like-
So what I did every time someone swiped their credit card, I would just stare off into space,
There we
and
go.
in my head I would count to 5. And
Like I was saying, you don't get mayonnaise on a sandwich, bro. Mayonnaise is the worst condiment, apart from, like, mustard.
then I would ask, do you want your receipt? And by the time they said yes,
You guys
it was
like
like
mayonnaise?
magic.
'Cause
As
I
soon as
don't.
they said yes,
Only had
the
chicken
receipt
burgers.
printed. At Subway, you only work with one other person. So if someone got annoyed and said, let me talk to your manager, I would just look at them and go, listen, I've been here the longest. The only other person in this store is a 16-year-old girl, and she technically isn't old enough to use a toaster, so I'm probably your best bet. I'm the manager. Like, do people think the manager will
Toaster.
automatically take their side and give them free stuff?
Mayo,
Yes.
dude. Bro, like, if you had to pick between mayo, like, hot sauce or chili sauce, whatever you call it, ketchup and barbecue, dude, mayo is getting selected last every single time of, like, the big 4 sauces. You want to add, like, mustard in there, then fuck that. I ain't eating that either. That shit's nasty. And then, what's another sauce? Sweet chili? No, thank you. That shit's nasty.
Actually, I
too.
do think that because it happens all the time. I would consider myself a pretty laid-back Subway employee. I didn't like
I
to be
hate
stingy with
mustard and
people,
ketchup.
even though I was disobeying the
I
Subway
like
formula on
ketchup. I
purpose.
don't like
Oh, you want
mustard.
more than 6 olives on your foot long? Pfft, sure. Here, have a 5th slice of cheese. $1.50 for avocado? Pfft, I'll charge you 75 cents, buddy. I probably shouldn't be saying these things, you know, in case this whole YouTube thing flops and I need a job. So I wasn't really strict on the rules. You know those fast food workers who are strict?
No one
Yeah,
is
we won't
strict
serve
on the
breakfast
rules,
at
dude.
10:02.
Bro,
Get
my
out.
back.
But being pretty laid back still didn't stop people from being annoying. So this one person comes in and asks for 2 foot-long pastrami
Mayonnaise
sandwiches.
is good
and
with
pastrami
cheese,
is our
dude.
most expensive sandwich. It's
Dude,
about $10
dude.
for a foot long.
Oh, that is wrong, alright? That is just wrong. You know what, man? I always thought I could do a video of, like, my view when it was YouTube, my subs on YouTube's fucking weird food combos. I know lots of people have done it, but everyone keeps telling me these odd food combos, bro. What was the last one someone told me, man? It was something so... Was it dude that told me? Somebody. It was something so odd.
And guys, the pastrami is super good, but I wouldn't pay for it. I mean, it's good, yeah, but I'm not paying $10 for a foot long. It's not worth it. So this guy, I make
Banana
his 2
and
sandwiches, I
rice?
ring him up, and I say, that'll be $20. And I guess he didn't look at the price of the sandwich on the menu, or he thought
Bro,
it was
someone told me they eat some odd food combination. It was a while back. I can't remember who it was or what it was. Banana and rice. Don't people eat plantain and rice? Isn't plantain technically a fucking banana? I ain't eating banana and rice though, because I don't like bananas and I'm not a big fan of rice.
still did the $5 footlongs, because he said to me, I ain't paying for that. And this is when I was just starting out. I
Love
only had
him.
like a week of experience. And after he said that, I responded, well, shoot. I guess you're not paying for it. I didn't know people could do that. Hey, I want this. All right, that's $20. Nah, you don't want it? No, I want it. I'm just not paying for it.
Who
Okay, no,
eats
but
raw
actually, we did
banana
come up
and
with a
rice,
compromise. He told me that he had $12, so
Tamale
we ended up paying for
edition.
one of the
Okay.
sandwiches. and I got to eat the other one. So it all worked out. This one time I was making a sandwich for a guy with a very heavy accent, and he asks for onions on the side. No big deal. We at Sooubway put vegetables in little cups all the time. I actually got a soup cup because the on the side cups are teeny tiny, and I start doing my thing, but then he says, no, on the side. And I think, oh, he's getting a foot long. He probably wants onions on half of it, but not the other. So I start putting onions on half the sub, but then again he says, no, on the side. At this point, I don't know what this guy wants. So I ask him, on the side of what? And then he screams, onions! And I never figured out what he was trying to say.
What?
This one old gentleman asks for sauce to be put on his vegetables, and normally we put it on top of the sandwich with the meat. And I didn't know if I heard him correctly because I put the sauce on and then I closed the sandwich. So your sauce would have been in the same place either way. One time, this woman tipped me and Corey $40. She wasn't annoying. I just want to sprinkle in some good customer stories.
What is with the
one time this
sprinkles?
Native American person came in, and I don't know if mentioning that was important to the story. He comes in and asks for 5-foot-long tunas. Okay,
Oh,
Tyler, just me and
tuna.
you, let's do this. And then when we're all finished, we
Not
ring
in
him
a
up and we say,
sandwich, dude.
anything else? And he says, 7 meatballs. What?
Hell
He
no.
wanted 7 more sandwiches. But James, you're Sooubway. You're supposed to make people sandwiches regardless of how many they ask for. Yeah, I know, but the guy could have handled it differently. Normally for a platter, you have to call in at least an hour ahead, and that's only 5 foot longs. This guy could have called ahead and said, hey, I'm getting 12 sandwiches, so just prepare yourselves. Mentally. I mean, we had so many customers waiting in line. No, we didn't. That's a lie. It was only him. But still, this one woman, I was making her sandwich, and for vegetables, she asked for extra lettuce. So I put on a big handful, but then she asks for more. So I put more on. More. And
She a
some
cow,
on.
bro.
More. I won't be able to close the sandwich with any more lettuce. And she says, that's fine. All right, extra lettuce it is. So I ended up giving her an open sandwich with a mountain of lettuce. You know we do salads, right? When I was little, I always thought if I was working at a store and someone tried to rob me, I wouldn't give them any money. But
No,
now it's
I'd
like,
give them all the
I
money,
ain't
dude.
risking my life for
I'd take
Sooubway.
half.
Here, take the cash register. So
I'd take half. Dude, I'd take half. I would like empty it and then wouldn't empty all of it, and then like when he leaves, I would just pocket the rest and just leave. He robbed it all. No one saw me.
Thankfully, I've never had anyone pull a gun on me, but I have caught people stealing from us. I was making someone's sandwich, and this one kid asks for just a water cup, so I gave it to him. So I go back to making a sandwich, and I just hear the fuzzy soda sounds being dispensed. And I look
everyone
over,
does that,
and the
though.
kid is putting soda in the cup. He didn't even try to hide it. When I put soda in a water cup, I at least wait for the employees to go in the back, but I didn't even say anything. I was just like, all right, man. This guy, I totally saw him take a bag of chips, and he hid it under the counter so I couldn't see. So when I rang up his sandwich, I asked, anything else? And he said, nope. All right, whatever. Okay, last story. I was in the back and I was playing some Clash of Clans, and we have a
See, I don't
computer that
care.
shows what the cameras see, and I see this woman who was eating there. She reached over the counter and took 3 large cups, and I did nothing to stop it. You know, I'm the kind of person that's like, the fast food employee is always right. Say if I was eating somewhere and I asked for a chicken salad and they said, we only have tuna salad. I'm the kind of person that's like, oh, well, I guess I'm having the tuna salad then. I think people need to realize that these fast food workers are actually people and not something for you to use to get a free sandwich. I did mean it when I said in the last video that everyone at some point should work in a fast food or retail job. It's nuts. Okay, we're done.
It's nuts, mate. My favorite sandwich is turkey mortadella with garlic. My favorite salad is dead salad. I don't eat salad. They are horrible. Remember when we watched that fat video, like with the fat woman who was like 600 pounds, and she said that eating is fun, and I said go eat a salad. That's not fun. You know.
You want to know something sad? I've earned more money from the 2 Sooubway videos I made about working at Sooubway than I did actually working at Sooubway for over a year.
Okay,
So
dude.
here we go. Sooubway.
This guy just flexed on us so hard, bro. This man fully just literally flexed on all of us, dude. My guy made more money from 2 10-minute or less than 10-minute videos than an entire year of working at Subway. Granted, working at Subway for how long? A year? You're earning minimum wage, probably, or close to it. You're not earning exactly that much. As they say, 15 to 20k max. This man made that off 2 videos. Probably more than that. Way more than that, judging by the view count.
Act 3, baby. I still got more to say. I used to work there, in case you didn't know that. When I moved out and was all on my own
Great
for
investment of
college,
time,
I was
isn't it?
feeling a little lonely and homesick. So one day I decided, hey, I'm gonna get some Sooubway for lunch. Food that I used to almost eat every day and got for free for over a year, I was gonna pay full price for. I just wanted a taste of home. I wasn't expecting to ever tell this story, but it turns out the employee making my sandwich was a huge idiot. As I was waiting in line, I noticed my favorite sandwich, the turkey Italiano, wasn't on the menu. The turkey Italiano, by the way, is the same as the Italian BMT, but instead of ham, you put on turkey. Very simple change. I asked the worker,
That looks pretty good. I think that's the one I used to get, actually, the Italian BMT. Because it was cheaper than getting one with all the meat on it. So yeah.
do you guys have the turkey Italiano? And he said, no. So then I asked, can I get a BMT, but instead of ham, I have turkey? And you know what he said to me?
No.
He said, no. I don't think I'm asking for too much. At my Sooubway, the BMT and the turkey Italiano were the same price, okay? And what do you mean, no, you can't put on turkey? Who's stopping you? I know for a fact that you don't count the slices of turkey at the end of the night. Just hook me up, please. I'm feeling sad. So I just got the BMT with all the vegetables because it's more food for the same amount of money, and I was a...
No, shit. I want to see the vegetables, dude. Fuck it. Don't get all the vegetables at Subway, dude. It tastes like you're eating grass if you do that, because the meat to vegetable ratio is not good enough. There's a few you should avoid, especially lettuce and the sweet pepper. Sweet pepper overpowers everything, and lettuce is just grass. So yeah, I would never get all the shit in there. I done it one time, and it was like eating a fucking grass sandwich.
Poor college student. And also because screw that guy. Have fun trying to close that sandwich. But then when he was all done, he put my sandwich by the cash register, and then he just started helping the next customer. And they hadn't even started making their sandwich.
Taken it and
just
left.
Ring me up so I can leave and then help the next person. But no, I had to wait for him to finish this person.
No, you didn't. I would have just taken the sandwich and fucking left it. He wouldn't have noticed.
Sandwich. If I wasn't so nice, I would have just took the sandwich and walked off. But I didn't, because I'm so nice. I've realized telling you that story, it sounds like I'm one of those customers who complain about everything and say, let me talk to your manager. But really, the whole time I just stood there awkwardly. But I think I can complain a little bit. I used to work at a Sooubway. I know how things are supposed to work. Sooubway, if you're somehow watching this, you need to hire more people. Like me. Speaking of me, when I was working at Sooubway, I never liked wearing my name tag because when I was making people's sandwiches, I hated it when complete strangers would say, thanks, James. How did you know? Oh, right, the name tag. So I never wore my name tag. I just work at Sooubway, okay? We don't need to know each other on a first name basis. Just take your food. For some reason, I don't like it when strangers know my name. But now that's all thrown out the window. This one time a customer came in and for some reason, I couldn't help but feel like I'd seen her somewhere before. Her face was so familiar, but I couldn't put my finger on it. So I made her sandwich, I rang her up, she paid for it, and as she grabbed her stuff, she said, yeah, I'm going up to my father's funeral this weekend. After my mother died, he couldn't last that long. Oh, that's why I remember her. She came in last week telling me the same story. What are you supposed to say to that?
Dude.
Yeah, that really sucks. I'm just some underpaid sandwich artist with really bad people skills. Did she really not have anyone?
You think she is lying to get free Sooubway sandwiches? Or you think she's being serious? Well, that's what it is. I had no idea what to do. I would have just be like, alright, give me the money and just continued.
Else to talk to? That just makes it extra sad. I ended up giving her a free cookie. I'm just
really
kidding, no, I didn't. Luckily, my coworker Corey heard this and he talked to her and he was very nice. Corey's a lot better at being nice to people. One time I was closing the store, I turned off the open sign and I was opening the front door to bring in a table and chair from outside. But while I was bringing in the table, these two old guys got out of their car and asked, are you guys closed? Yep. Is what I would have said if I wasn't so nice. Instead I said, ugh. Fine. Even though it was past 10, I let them order their sandwiches. When they came in, the 16-year-old girl I was working with was not happy. They started apologizing for coming in so late. Oh, I didn't realize places in Arizona close so early. Blah, blah, blah. We're vampires. And
places everywhere, Subway closes early, dude. In London, fucking Subways close at like 9 or 10 o'clock. I think it's just the thing. They don't stay open that long. I think it's just a fucking thing with Subway.
And I said, it's whatever, just order your sandwiches. And then he said, can I have 3 salads? And I actually laughed.
Dude.
But he didn't laugh. Oh, you're being serious. I let you in past closing and you want 3 salads? Do you know how many dirty dishes that'll make? As I was making this guy his 3 salads and 16-year-old girl was making the other guy's 2-foot-long sandwiches, a third guy not associated with these two came in. Guess he didn't see the open sign not illuminated. I finished helping the 2 old guys and then I started helping the third guy and he asked, "What time do you guys close?" 15 minutes ago. But after everything was said and done, the 2 old guys tipped us $5 and the third guy tipped us $1. So I mean, between me and the 16-year-old girl, a $3 tip ain't so bad. I actually heard from one of my
dude. Not worth it.
Old co-workers that the husband and wife owners of my old Sooubway watched my 2 other Sooubway videos. So they might be watching this one, and I just wanted to say that by letting those 3 guys in, I showed initiative and was looking out for customer satisfaction. Yeah. One time I brought a laser pointer into work because I knew I'd be bored, and I was. Except the boy I was working with was shining it outside at the cars driving by, and I told him not to do that because it's probably stupid, illegal, and really dangerous. Later, I was going to go clean the bathrooms. I saw the laser pointer on the counter, and I said, "Hey dude, while I'm cleaning the bathrooms, don't shine the laser pointer at the cars." I told him that. When I was all finished cleaning though, I saw him sitting by the window just shining the laser at the cars. At first I wanted to go up to him and say, "Dude, stop." But then the other part of me thought, I'm not this kid's dad. I told him to stop twice and he didn't listen. Whatever happens is his problem. He ended up getting fired. Yeah, a lady came in and said, "Let me talk to your manager." And I said, I can give you her phone number. And boom, he got fired.
Makes sense, dude. That's fucking stupid. Why would you do that? That's actually stupid. If someone done that, I would be pissed if I was driving. I don't have a license, but
I'm the one who brought in the laser pointer, but I don't really blame myself for him losing his job. That was a stupid thing for you to do, kid. Once again, I was the good employee. I mean, I didn't show that much initiative that time, though. So before I worked at Sooubway, I like to go to this taco place and get the same thing every time, the carne asada fries.
Whoa, that looks mad.
Later, I learned that the carne asada fries are 2,000 calories. That was the
holy 2,000 calories, dude. Does look good, though. What's that? Fries, fucking cheese, guacamole, salsa, meat. Oh, yeah, that looks fucking good, dude.
Only thing I ever got at this taco place. And I used to be super self-conscious thinking, man, these employees must think I'm so weird coming in getting the same thing over and over. But then when I worked at Sooubway, I learned, nope, fast food employees don't care about you or your order. Unless you're mean to them or tell them that you're going to your dad's funeral, fast food employees will not remember you. One time someone came in and told me, "I'll have the usual." And I said, "I've literally never seen you before in my entire life."
Actually, that's not true. There was, when I used to go to Subway every day, there was a girl who remembered my order off the top of her head. Because I pretty much used to get the same shit every fucking day. Why not?
I didn't really say that. If any of you are working at a really slow Sooubway, here are some fun games for you to play. Cut up a loaf of bread into small pieces and make a mini sandwich with 1 meat and 3 different vegetables. Give it to your coworker and have them eat it without looking. Then they have to guess what's on the sandwich. And that's it. You can set up a point system like they get 1 point for every ingredient they get right. Also, you can do the same game by mixing up 2 sodas and have them guess. You can walk into the freezer.
I always order American Steakhouse melt. That is a deserved tip. What, for remembering the order? Well, considering I went in there almost every day, I don't think it... I mean, and plus, no one really tips here, to be fair. I ain't gonna lie to you, Subway.
Freezer and see how long you can last. My record's an hour. You can
really,
put in some vanilla ice cream and just make all sorts of stuff with that. You can make root beer floats. You could take 2 cookies and put ice cream between them and make a cookie ice cream sandwich. 16-year-old girl made this thing. I think it was called the Kazuki. You put cookie dough in a bowl and then you cooked it, but not all the way, and then you put ice cream on top of it, and it was super good. You can make nachos and bread bowls, and we wasted a lot of food. I still don't know why that guy didn't give me a turkey Italiano. I mean, at my Sooubway, we made bread bowls and nachos. Okay, all right, here's my favorite Sooubway sandwich besides pastrami. The pastrami's good, but it's expensive. So the next best thing, aka what I usually get, is the turkey Italiano on wheat bread and provolone cheese. And whenever I made mine, I would put on extra meat and extra cheese. So I guess if you want to recreate my sandwich, you have to get double meat and double cheese, which, if you ask me, is the standard amount of cheese and meat you should put on a sub. Toast it, obviously.
Single meat is not enough meat. But if you don't have money, it is enough meat. Double cheese is usually not very expensive.
Banana peppers and jalapenos and only a little bit of pickles. So actually, I did ask the first guy to put on all the vegetables.
We're watching a guy tell us Subway stories right at the moment.
Not out of revenge, but because I actually like all the vegetables on my sub. Then a little bit of mayo.
We're
They
into
normally put on
Outlaws
so
installed. It's
much
probably
mayo, just
installed.
ask for 1 stripe, and then the same amount of mustard, and then some oil, vinegar, salt, and pepper.
I'm making
and then
curry
wrap
right
that
now,
puppy up.
so
And
I'll
it
be
was
eating
going
soon.
to insult a sandwich that Sooubway has, but if Sooubway is ever going to hire me as their new spokesperson because they need one, I can't be insulting one of their sandwiches in a video. It was the meatball.
This guy's very smart with the way he does his fucking shit at the end. Like, he does this and he promotes all of his stuff, or he shows all this fan art, whatever it is, and he continues the story.
The meatball's a horrible
We'll
sandwich.
respect it.
Okay, there
It
are
is.
good meatball marinara sandwiches out there. It's just
No,
the
no,
ones
no.
at Sooubway are
Meatballs
I do want to say
in a
something about the
sandwich.
plushies. I know I
Nope.
said in the last video that they were going to be out by Christmas, but that didn't happen. They were shipped out late. But as of right now, they have shipped already, and you should have gotten a confirmation email. So if you haven't gotten yours, then they should be arriving very, very soon, is what I'm saying. Thanks for watching. Happy, good way to start out the new year, and wear your seatbelt.
I said, wear your seatbelt, dude. I think I have never actually made food, just used microwave or ordered food. I made food, but it's just loads so long, dude. I'm too lazy. If I have a choice of making something from fresh or just like getting a pizza and just stick it in the oven for 15 minutes, dude, I'm gonna do that. Like, cooking is one of those things that you need to enjoy to do, in my opinion. Like, to do every day. If you want to cook, you need to really enjoy doing it. That's what I found. Like, it's fun if you do it every so often, but not every day. That's my, for me. Speaking of, if you guys want me to do a cooking stream, I know I mentioned it before, and Jake wanted me to do one. And I might. We'll see. I might do one. I just don't know how to do it. I'd have to stream off my phone, probably, and... My Wi-Fi is shit. Like, my wired connection is really good, but my Wi-Fi, dude, it cuts out all the time. So, yeah. I always wanted to say that after my attempt of cooking, my kitchen looks like How to Basic went through it. But it's not true. Bro, I'm trying to think the first time I cooked. I used to cook in school and it was always fine. When I cooked at home, dude, I tried to make eggs one time and I fucked it so hard, dude. I fucked making eggs. But now I can do it. Well, I really messed up trying to make some eggs one time. Mo, did I send you that picture of those black eggs that I tried that time? Literally burnt one of them.
Sooubway will always hold a special place in my empty heart, not because I have fond memories working there, but because some of you really liked it when I talked about working there. And I made buckets with those videos compared to what I was making at Sooubway, which was nice. Apparently I was
Yeah, dude, this guy, bro. This guy, just looking at the view count, bro. He made so much money off that, dude. So much money. What do they say? The average per 1,000 views is $7, right? And let's just say he has that. My good God, dude.
hashtag relatable enough to connect with millions of people, and it took my channel to where it is today. And then less than 2 weeks later, I made a part 2 to that video, and I struck an even bigger chord with people. Who likes the sequel better than the original? People think that I use the word Sooubway in my videos so I wouldn't get sued. This is not true. I wasn't successful enough to get sued. They had other problems to deal with at the time. I called
The pedo guy.
it Sooubway for a joke. In my first video, I said, I used to work at a very small local sandwich shop. I don't know if any of you guys heard of it. It's called Sooubway. I was making you think that I worked at an unknown place, and then I subverted your expectations by saying I worked at Sooubway. But now at this point in my career, I am calling my previous place of employment Sooubway because I don't want to get soobed. The most requests I get for a video is Sooubway Part 4, but I never really considered making
Unfortunately.
another one because I don't work there anymore.
Okay.
I have no new stories to talk about the place. But
I actually want to
something
eat Subway
happened
now, dude.
recently, and I do want to talk about it. You see, the Sooubway I used to work at closed down, and I am so deeply upset at this news that the only way for me to cope is to make one last video about it. So this story happened a couple of years after I quit working at Sooubway. I was behind on a video, so that meant I was in a mentally damaging mindset called crunch mode, and I had been working all day, and I started getting hungry, and I still hadn't taken Floof on a walk, so I decided to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and eat Floof. Just kidding. I decided to take Floof on a walk to my local Sooubway. And before I entered the store, I picked up Floof and held her in my arms, because I'm not not a psychopath. I know taking your dog into a restaurant is tacky and a health code violation, but this is a Sooubway we're talking about. I know how laid back it is here. There are no rules or
Subway, McDonald's, all that shit, dude. They've already got many health code violations you can't see with the naked eye. I tell you right now, 100%, dude, they have a shit ton of violations, dude. There was one fucking Greg's in Morden, which is kind of close to me, which is like a little mini. It's like a part of London, which is like 10 minutes from me. And there's this restaurant called Greg, or not really a restaurant. It's technically a sandwich shop, but like they sell donuts and the main attraction is donuts and pastries and like stuff like that. And I went in there one time, dude, and there was cockroaches, dude. There was cockroaches, bro, in the Greg's crawling over the food, bro. Imagine. And people were still buying that shit. Like, you could see them on the donuts, bro. And people were still buying it. I remember my mum was in there. She walked in there, she saw it, she's like, yeah, we ain't getting this, dude. And that Greg's actually closed down for like a while, and then they reopened up. Obviously, because they had to clear it.
or health codes. One time when I was working at my Sooubway, this 10-year-old kid came in wearing a swimsuit
Holy
and literally
cannoli,
nothing
dude.
else. And he was unsupervised. He didn't want a sandwich, all he wanted was a cookie, but this kid wasn't wearing shoes or a shirt. The two things you need to get service at a restaurant.
Yes.
So did I tell this shirtless delinquent to get lost?
That's so
no,
true.
He had
Dude.
much.
That's so true. When I went on a holiday, well, when we went to Cyprus, usually, because that's where I'm from, for anyone who doesn't know, like originally from. I obviously live in the UK. I'm born in the UK, but that's where my family's from. Anyway, we went there, and usually what we do is we go for 2 to 3 weeks, and we spend most of the time at my grandma's house because they have a nice house over there. And then we'll spend most of the time there, but we'll spend 2, 3, 4 days at a hotel, and we usually go to the same one. And it's obviously got like it's obviously all you can eat buffet sort of thing, right? And you get like, I think you get breakfast, lunch, dinner if you pay for the full thingy. So whenever we used to go for lunch, obviously you go to the pool, you have to wear a shirt, dude. And this is at a hotel with all you can eat. Lots of people, they enforce the rule you have to wear a shirt in that restaurant. Like 100%, they'll send you fucking away if you don't. So yeah, I guess Subway would have the same thing, right?
Money, so I did business with him. I don't discriminate against
Holy
shirtless
cannoli,
people.
dude.
Look, his mom was probably at the grocery store next door, and he just got done with swimming lessons, and he said something
What's with
like,
the belly button,
"Mother,
dude?
I would be most grateful if you let me consume a pastry with high levels of sugar and simple carbohydrates."
Definitely
And
didn't
his
say
mom probably said, "Yeah, whatever, nerd, go get something at Sooubway." So the point of this story is to let you know that I was the kind of employee who, as long as you were willing to pay for your food, didn't care what you were wearing or what health codes you were violating. This is a gosh darn Sooubway. So I walk in with Floof, and it's completely empty, by the way. Seems like I'm the only one in this town that even likes Sooubway. And the worker, aka the only other person in the store, said, "Is that a service animal?" Floof's
Yes.
not a service animal. Unless the service you want is someone to chew up all your stuff and bark at everyone. But she still emotionally supports me when I tell her, I'm gonna die alone. She tries to make me feel better by licking the inside of my nose. But I didn't want to lie to this guy about Floof's emotional support.
That's why I prefer cats to dogs. I don't know what it is. I want to get licked, dude. I don't want anyone to chew my shit. I will get pissed if you chew my shit, dude. Like, I will fully get angry. Dogs actually ruin a lot of shit. Plus, I don't want to walk a dog every day. That's a commitment. Walking a dog every day, bro. I mean, I guess you get some exercise, but I'd rather go and walk by myself, which I do, than walk a dog. I don't know. And people have this weird thing where they want to touch your dog. You know what I mean? Like, you walk your dog, and then some random old lady's like, "Let me pet your dog." Well, fuck you, dude. You ain't touching my dog. Fucking Karen, dude. I prefer my PC over any animal. Fair play. Cats are backstabbing bitches. Not mine. Mine's fine. Well, where's it gonna go? Get some exercise. That's true. I prefer dogs. I just have had bad experiences with dogs. From when I was a kid, I just remember them tripping me up multiple times. I don't know why. And then once I got chased by a dog. I think that was really it.
Because if I said yes and he said prove it, I would be in trouble. So like the emotionally stable enough to not need a dog person that I am, I said, no. And he said, "She can't be in here. If the health inspector came in, they would fire me on the spot." Which, like, geez, dude, you
Cat
don't let the health
stream?
inspector
Okay,
treat you
dude.
like that? Stand up for yourself once in a while. So I said, okay, I'll leave.
I think my cat's outside,
There are other
so
restaurants in walking distance, Sooubway guy. The ramen place lets me order with floof in my arms all the time. I know this because I've already been there twice this week, and the only reason I'm even getting Sooubway is because I don't want the ramen employees thinking that I'm a weird guy who brings my non-emotional support dog everywhere. You missed out, Sooubway. Do you know who I am? I used to work here. And then the guy called my bluff. He said, wait, we can make it fast. As fast as Jimmy John's? This kid's standing up for himself.
Jimmy John's? What the fuck is that?
Proud of him. I knew exactly what to tell him. I want a foot-long ham sandwich on Italian bread with American cheese. I know that's the hardest cheese to pull apart with gloves on, but whatever. He sped run putting on the meat and cheese, and then he asked me what kind of vegetables. And in my mind I went, hold on, you didn't ask me if I wanted it toasted. I see what you're doing. You're trying to get this sandwich finished as quickly as possible, so you're not even going to ask me if I want it toasted and hope I forgot. Well, it's okay, because I didn't want it toasted, but I'm onto you. And then he jumped over the counter, peed on the olives, and bit the guy in the jugular. And then licked the inside of his nose. Some people take their job way too seriously.
Okay, dude. Like, if you don't get it toasted, bro, come on now, you're not really eating a good sandwich from Subway. I'm sorry, if it's not toasted, it's not good.
Well, at least some Sooubway workers are more laid back like me. Like this one time not too long ago, I went back to the Sooubway I used to work at, and I didn't recognize any of the people there. But someone did get recognized in that store. Me. One of the workers said, "Are you the guy that made the cartoon about working here?" And I said, "Yeah." And then I decided to make his job interesting by telling him, "Hey kid, this is the place." What? This is where it all happened, kid. These floors are the very same floors that I used to mop. You missed a spot over there. And
unless it's literally only vegetables, it must be toasted. Agreed.
This kid lost all 6
Don't they add vegetables after they toast it, though?
olives. Okay, I don't use my fame to get into places I'm not supposed to. Usually. But this kid was so excited, and I used to work here, so I asked him, "Can I go in the back?" Which is probably breaking a bajillion health code violations, but this kid didn't care. He let me in. It had been 3 years since I had been back there, and literally nothing had changed. I don't know if any of you have ever moved out of your parents' house, and then 3 years later you went back to visit and saw your childhood bedroom, but it was that sort of feeling. The chip boxes were still in the same place, inside the freezer all the food was pretty much where I left it, and the bulletin board had all the same papers. One of the papers was a list of all the employees with their names and phone numbers, and that list was so old that it still had all of my old coworkers' names and numbers.
Morty,
yes. It had my own name and number still on the sheet. It had been crossed out, but I still went, "Ah!" and I punched it out with a pencil. Maybe that's how my phone number got leaked. And then I thought, I wonder if the other number is still here. In the very back of the room, there was this desk, and I got down on the gross, unmopped floor, and I scooted underneath the desk, and oh my gosh, it's still here. When I used to work there, one of my coworkers found this store's Wi-Fi password and wrote it down on the bottom side of the desk, so then everyone could watch Netflix instead of work. And the employee had no idea it was there, and he typed it into his phone, and it still worked. All right, don't tell people that I told you this, I said. We can't let anyone know this secret. But then the place closed down, so now no one can get in trouble. Anyways, I'm gonna miss that place. It was gross, and I didn't love working there, but in the end, it was the most memorable job I had as a teenager.
And indirectly, the best time of his life, because it led to him making this YouTube channel and getting millions and millions of views.
It was the only other job that I had. It formed a good work ethic, I made new friends, and I even got to eat free food sometimes.
Like I said, it formed a good work ethic when he's always been talking about how he used to watch Netflix and fuck about and make fucking ice cream floats or some shit, dude. Alright.
But now I might get sued for this video, so we'll see what happens. So now, every time I walk into Sooubway with my non-service animal, a little part of me will be sad that my old Sooubway is in ruins. Okay, maybe it's not in ruins, but they'll probably turn it into a nail salon or something.
Yikes.
Nothing lasts forever, so it's time to give
This guy doesn't even have a good shovel. He's got a plastic shovel. What are you digging up with that? Okay, then. Now your trousers are dirty, bro. He didn't even dig a hole. He didn't even dig a hole. Literally. You can still see it when he put it in. Oh my god, bro. What have I just witnessed? Okay. I wonder if he just left it. You know, technically if he wrapped it back up, he could have gone back and taken it out and eaten it anyway. If there's no dirt in there. You may make the sandwich. What was that, dude? You make the sandwich, but the sandwich you eat makes... Okay, dude. Okay. Okay, dude. I used to have 2 cats, 4 dogs, and 2 rats. How does that dynamic work, bro? What does this guy do now that Subway is over? He still gets so many views, so you know what, bro? Doesn't matter. 114 million views. Oh, good god, dude. That's mad.